Let's talk about the spiral. For a long time, the fandom has settled on a simple definition. It's the fear of lies, deception, and madness. But what if that's just scratching the surface? What if our limited human minds are trying to put a neat label on something far more terrifying? Today, we are going to challenge that idea and propose a new theory. The spiral is not about lies at all. It's about a truth so complex, so radical, that it shatters our perception of reality itself. It's the profound terror of ontological instability, the horrifying realization that reality itself is unreliable, chaotic, and fundamentally broken. Think about it. A simple lie exists within a stable reality. You can uncover it, you can deal with it. But what the spiral presents is a universe where the rules don't apply, where cause and effect fall apart. This is a much deeper, more existential dread. So why do we call it the fear of madness and deception? It's a form of cognitive flattening. The human brain is wired for linear thought. We need stable coordinates to navigate the world. We need to know that a hallway has a start and an end, that a door leads to a specific place. When confronted with a reality that operates on a quantum level, a reality that is self-aware and constantly shifting, our minds can't compute. We don't have the hardware for it. So, we default to the simplest, most familiar explanation for that internal collapse. I am being lied to, or I am going crazy. We reduce an incomprehensible cosmic truth into a personal failing or a malicious act. The architectural horrors of the spiral are perfect examples. Those impossible corridors and endless staircases are not just lies made manifest. They are physical representations of a different kind of math, equations that don't balance in our three-dimensional world. They represent a reality operating on an infinite set of variables that our minds simply cannot model. The fear isn't just that the hallway is weird. It's the dawning realization that the entire universe is too big, too strange, and too complex for us to ever truly understand. We're trying to solve a quantum physics problem with elementary school arithmetic. And the resulting system error is what we call madness. This brings us to one of the most fascinating paradoxes in the series. The distortion, whether it's Michael or Helen. We would argue that it is, ironically, one of the most honest characters we encounter. Its honesty lies in its absolute refusal to pretend to be anything it's not. It never promises stability, safety, or sense. The non-Euclidean architecture, the shifting doors, the paradoxical statements, these aren't deceptions. They are a direct, unfiltered manifestation of the ontological principle it represents. It is being honest about its own incoherent nature. Think about Michael's own words. He calls himself the throat of delusion. A throat isn't the source. It's a conduit. The distortion doesn't create the delusion. It simply funnels the raw, incomprehensible truth of the spiral into a form that a human mind is forced to interact with. The delusion is our mind's reaction to that raw data, not the data itself. When a being's fundamental nature is fractured perception and overwhelming complexity, it doesn't need to lie to be terrifying. It only needs to state its truth directly. When the distortion says it is fundamentally not what it is, that isn't a clever lie. It's a terrifyingly honest statement about its paradoxical existence. Its honesty is the horror, because it forces the victim to accept a reality that is completely nonsensical. This makes the moment Helen, as the distortion, genuinely lies to John just before her destruction incredibly significant. If the entity's nature is radical, complex truth, then telling a simple, straightforward lie is the ultimate act of self-contradiction. It's a betrayal of its own fundamental principle. By lying, Helen breaks her own internal logic, making her vulnerable to the I's demand for absolute, singular truth. It was an act of self-destructive chaos that allowed for her undoing. The exception proves the rule. So, how do we conceptualize this new version of the spiral? The best analogy is to imagine quantum principles becoming self-aware. Quantum mechanics deals with probabilities, superposition, and realities that completely defy our everyday classical intuition. The spiral is the horror of discovering that the world isn't governed by sensible rules, but by this kind of probabilistic, observation-dependent instability. This ties into the observer effect. In quantum physics, the act of observing a particle changes its state. In the spiral's domain, the very act of trying to observe, to define, and to find the truth is what accelerates the madness. The more you try to make sense of the shifting hallway, the more it shifts. Your attempt to pin it down causes it to warp even further. The impossible architecture also reflects the principle of superposition. A hallway can be simultaneously long, short, upstairs, and downstairs, existing in a cloud of all possibilities. It's only when the victim tries to measure it, to walk down it, that the wave function collapses into one terrifying, but fixed, state. The fear isn't just what the hallway becomes. It's the anxiety of that constant, churning potential, the sense that any reality, no matter how awful, could snap into existence at any moment. The spiral is a sentient wave function of fear. Now, it's important to remember that this pure, cosmic principle of universal chaos is filtered through a human lens. The raw, objective force may just be a law of the universe, but its manifestation as a fair entity, as a spiral, is that principle kalaihroma. It became the fear of madness and deception because those are the only categories our minds have for the terror of seeing reality dissolve. So, when we look at the spiral, we're not seeing a liar. We are seeing a being whose truth is so vast and complex that it is inherently incomprehensible to our linear minds. By reframing it this way, we elevate the horror from simple malice to a profound and deeply unsettling cosmic terror. It's not about an entity trying to trick you. It's about the universe itself being fundamentally, terrifyingly honest about its own incomprehensible nature. Does this resonate with you, or do you stick with the classic interpretation